Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Ram
Hare Ram
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 Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Rama,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
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 Rama,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama.
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Rama,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Rama, Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna.
Ram
Ram
Hare Ram
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 Krishna
Ram
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare.
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram Ram
Hare.
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare.
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare.
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare
Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram Hare Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram, 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 Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Rama,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Hare
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 Rama,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna Hare
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 Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram, Ram, Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
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 Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare. Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram
Ram, Hare
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 Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Ram, Hare
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 Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
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 Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna.
Ram, Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
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 Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Jai
Hare
Shri
Krishna
Krishna Chaitanya,
Prabhu Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Radha
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Shiva
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Shri
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram
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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Hare.
Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
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 Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
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 Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Ram.
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram.
Ram Ram, Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare.
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare.
Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare.
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram.
Ram Ram, Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Ram 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 Ram, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna.
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna.
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Hare.
Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna.
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna.
Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare.
Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna.
Hare Hare, Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram.
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram.
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram.
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram.
Hare Hare, Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare
Krishna,
Ram 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 Ram
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Hare,
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare
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 Ram, Ram Ram, Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Hare Krishna
Ram Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Ram Hare Ram
Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram Hare
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Hare Ram Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Krishna
Prabhu
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Chaitanya
Ram
Prabhu
Ram Ram
Nityananda
Hare
Shri
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Jai Shri
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Chaitanya
Hare Ram
Prabhu
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Shri Advaita
Krishna
Gadadhara
Hare
Krishna,
Sri
Hare
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna, Hare
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 Ram, Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram
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 Hare
Ram Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Ram
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare.
Ram Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare.
Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Ram
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Ram Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
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 Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
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 Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna.
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna.
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna. Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna 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 Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Ram.
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna.
Radhe
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram Hare
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
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 Ram
Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
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 Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Jai
Krishna
Krishna
Shri
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Jai
Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram
Priya
Ram Hare
Dvij
Hare
Krishna
Radha
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Shiva
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram
Ram,
Ram Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, 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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, 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 Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare, Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare Hare. Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare.
Ram,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram,
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 Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Krishna.
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
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 Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Jai
Ram,
Shri
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Jai
Hare
Shri
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Advaita
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Gadadara
Ram Ram,
Shri.
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna.
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna
Krishna, Hare.
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
Krishna.
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare.
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare.
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna.
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna.
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare,
Krishna.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram, Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram.
Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare Ram.
Hare Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram.
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram.
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram.
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare Ram.
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Ram.
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram.
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram.
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram.
Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare
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 Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Ram, Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram, 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Hare
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Hare
Ram,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram.
Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram.
Hare Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram.
Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram.
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Jai
Krishna
Shri
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Krishna,
Prabhu
Hare Hare,
Nityananda Shri
Hare
Krishna
Advaita
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Gadadara
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Sivasati
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
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 Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare
Shri Krishna
Ram
Chaitanya Prabhu
Ram
Nityananda
Hare
Shri
Krishna,
Advaita
Hare Krishna,
Gadadhar Sivasadi Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram 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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram Ram
Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram 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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna Krishna Krishna
Ram Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna.
Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna.
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna.
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram
Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna
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 Hare
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 Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna.
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram, 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 Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Ram Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare
Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Ram
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare 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 Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram, Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Ram
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Hare
Nityananda,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Shri
Hare
Krishna Chaitanya,
Krishna
Shri
Krishna
Advaita
Krishna
Gadadhara
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram.
Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Chaitanya
Krishna
Prabhu
Krishna Hare
Nityananda
Hare
Shri
Hare
Advaita
Hare Ram
Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Krishna
Nityananda
Hare
Shri
Hare
Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura
Hare
Bhaktaprinda
Hare
Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram Hare
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Ram Hare
Hare Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Ram Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Ram Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna.
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna.
Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Krishna Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare 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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna.
Ram Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
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 Ram
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Ram Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna.
Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Ram Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
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 Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Ram, Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
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 Hare
Ram,
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 Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
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 Hare
Ram,
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 Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare Hare
Ram,
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram,
Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram
Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Hare Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare Krishna Shri Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare 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 Ram Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
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 Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare Hare, Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Ram 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Ram Ram
Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Hare Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare Ram Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram 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 Ram
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
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 Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna.
Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna.
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna.
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna.
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna.
Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna.
Krishna Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Ram Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Hare Ram 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 Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna Krishna
Nam
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Rama,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Shri
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura
Krishna
Bhakta
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
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 Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
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 Ram Hare Ram
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Hare Ram
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Hare
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 Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Ram Ram Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
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 Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Ram
Ram Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
Krishna Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Krishna Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare
Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
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 Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare
Ram, Hare 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 Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare 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 Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare 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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Hare Ram Hare
Ram
Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram 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 Ram
Ram
Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Ram Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare,
Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Chaitanya
Ram
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar
Hare
Shivasati
Krishna
Gaura
Krishna
Bhakta
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Ram
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 Ram Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Ram Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram Ram
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram Ram Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare, Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare Ram
Ram,
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram
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 Hare Ram
Ram,
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare 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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare Ram
Ram,
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
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 Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
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 Hare
Ram Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna.
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Ram Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Ram Ram
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Ram Ram Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna.
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Ram Ram Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna.
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Krishna.
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Hare
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 Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna.
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna.
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
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 Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare, Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna. We are going to read Srimad Bhagavatam.
Krishna.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
So
Prabhuji.
hope we were able to apply whatever we discussed yesterday in our Bhakti Shastri class to our chanting. Japa.
Yes.
So this is also for the whole day. We will see how we can control our mind and things. And then in the evening you can tell what you did to control your mind and whether you were successful, when you were successful, when you were not successful, how you can improve. So, okay, so Prajapati Daksha is continuing with his rant of, chastising Narad Muni because Narad Muni turned his sons into brahmacharis. So he is continuing now in the next verse. Netham pumsam viraga syat tvaya kevalina mrisha manyase yadya upashamam sneha pasha nikrintanam. Prajapati Daksha continued. If you think that simply awakening the sense of renunciation will detach one from the material world, I must say that unless full knowledge is awakened, simply changing dresses, as you have done, cannot possibly bring detachment. So, renunciation has to be accompanied by knowledge. Prajapati Daksha is saying, he is thinking that Narad Muni has simply made them change their dress to saffron, to brahmachari. But actually, they have not been awakened in knowledge. So, the renunciation will not last. The same thing, who do you think said to who? That without knowledge, then renunciation will not last.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
Yeah,
Raghunath Das.
Prakashananda Saraswati and all the sannyas in Banaras, they were saying, this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a sentimentalist. He is chanting and dancing in the street with his followers. And he is not studying Vedanta. And he's so young and he has taken sannyas, he's so beautiful. How is he going to maintain his sannyas, his renunciation? Because he's not studying the scriptures. So renunciation will not last if there is no knowledge. That's what Daksha is telling Narad Muni. that you have made them renounce, you just made them change the dress, but actually you didn't give them knowledge. But actually Narad Muni did give. So, and that's why they became renounced. So, which in one sense, what Daksha is saying is true, because just by changing dress, one's consciousness doesn't change. Externally, if you change, internal doesn't change. You can put on sannyasi dress or whatever, but internally, if you're not convinced, then you cannot be maintain that kind of thing. So Prajapati Daksha was correct in stating that changing one's dress cannot detach one from this material world. Just by wearing dhoti, nicely, designed dhoti, very expensive dhoti, and putting on tilak and wearing a kanthi mala doesn't make one a devotee. So, the sannyasis of Kali Yuga who change their robes from white to saffron and then think they can do whatever they like are more abominable than materialistic grihasthas. So, if you cheat, then you are more dangerous than if you are not cheating and you accept that, yeah, I'm not renounced. Because when you cheat, then people will have faith, put their faith in you. And then when you do something wrong, then people will lose faith. And this is how people have lost faith. Prabhupada, he lost faith in all the renunciants who would come to his home because he saw that they were not very strict. So even when you get genuine persons, you think this may also be fake. So that is what happens. And so many times if we have been cheated or something like that, then we always doubt. We are very skeptical. That's natural, right? We have gone through bad experiences. So next time around also, we are not very convinced that this time I'll have a good experience or it'll be genuine. Like if you get fake currency in your dealings always, then when you get genuine currency, then you think it's also fake because you have so many times you've got fake currency. So that's very dangerous. So one should not cheat, like Prabhupada said, right? Or Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, a sincere sweeper in the street is better than a charlatan meditator, right? One who is making a show that he is renounced for the purpose of making money or getting followers or things like that. Then it's better to be a sincere sweeper in the street. Means just accept where you are at and do what you, instead of pretending. That's sahajya. Sahajya means they show that, oh, we have so much love for Krishna, we are crying tears, but secretly they have a lot of other dealings. Right? So that is called hypocrisy.
That Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita. One who restrains a sense of action but his mind dwells on sense objects. He certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. Mithyachar.
Yeah, mithyachari. So yeah, so it's not enough just to restrain. Like I think yesterday Vaishali was asking this question, that if the senses are controlled but the mind is not controlled, then so of course one way is we want to control the mind, but the mind is not getting controlled. That's a different thing than to deliberately, yeah, deliberately not control the mind, right, and allow it to do. Some place Prabhupada says mind should not be allowed to go. Means we can decide whether the mind should think of this or should not think of this, because we are higher than the mind. So we are servant of Krishna and the mind should be our servant. Ideally that's how it is. The soul is servant of Krishna and the mind should be the servant of the soul. So we tell the mind this is what you have to do and the mind should comply. So that is how.
I think even the awareness is also, I mean, it helps. Like, even if we know that our mind is thinking like this way or is directing us to do like this way, that would also be a wonderful realization at that time. Okay? Because in that way, also, we are above the mind because we know what is mind is thinking.
Yeah, so we were saying that look at the mind, not look with the mind.
Yes.
So look at the mind means it's like some third person. It's not me. Don't look with the mind, but look at the mind means look at it as a third party. It's not me. So in that way also, of course, it's all practice. We have to practice in this way. Practice makes perfect. Then mind will start obeying. So they say either you control the mind or the mind will control you. There are only two options. So we want to control the mind, then let the mind control us. But if mind is giving good thoughts, like the spiritual side of the mind, then it's good. Then we can. Ultimately, the soul also has a mind, right? There is a material mind and there is spiritual mind and all these things. So it becomes complex to think about what is actually the mind. But we know there is a mind, and the mind has its own demands and its own project. So Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, Apurya mana machalam pratishtam samudra mapa pravashanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravashanti sarve. So,
Shantim apno puna kam kam.
yes. So many times the desires are coming because of our past conditioning in our mind. But it doesn't mean that desire has come, so I have to fulfill that desire. And so we can say, we can let it pass, okay, ignore it or whatever. So that's so unless we control the mind and senses, we cannot make spiritual progress. Okay, so the sannyasis of Kali Yuga who change their robes from white to saffron and then think they can do whatever they like are more abominable than materialists. So their mind has not changed. This is not recommended anywhere. Prajapati Daksha was right in pointing out this defect, but he did not know that Narad Muni had aroused the spirit of renunciation in the Haryashvas and Shavalashvas through full knowledge. He just thought that he just made them change the dress without giving them enlightened knowledge. He just thought that, yeah, this is just premature. Such enlightened renunciation is desirable. Means knowledge, renunciation, which is based on knowledge. Renunciation through wisdom, there is a book. Renunciation through wisdom. One should enter the renounced order with full knowledge. Jnana Vairagya, or the perfection of life is possible for one who renounces this material world in that way. Because then it will sustain. Because if you're not convinced with your intellect, then it will not sustain. So, conviction, as we were saying, that's the first thing. Conviction, then attention, then attraction, then absorption, like that. So, conviction is the first thing. Sambandha Gyan and like that. So, this elevated stage can be reached very easily, as supported by the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam 1-7. वासुदेवे भगवती भक्ति योग प्रयोजितः जनयति आसु वैराग्यम ज्ञानम च यदहेतुकम्. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. So if you render devotional service for the pleasure of Krishna, then Krishna dadami buddhi yogam tam. In the heart, he will give all the knowledge and everything. So, and we also hear the scriptures. Right? That is also devotional service. So when there is class going on, then one should sit down and hear. Prabhupada was sitting down and hearing. When Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was speaking, he would be very attentively hearing like that. So in that way, also we'll get the right understanding of the goal of life. And all the devotees, they are praying. Many devotees, Prithu Maharaj is saying, I only want the benediction to hear from the mouth of your pure devotees. Sauttama shloka mahan mukha chuto. Sauttama shloka mahan mukha chuto.
Bhavat-padambuja gunakarnamala.
Smriti punarvisitam tattva vartmanam kuyoginam no
No
vitrate alam.
vitrite alambare.
So this is the main thing, right? He's saying Prithu Maharaj's incarnation is a Shaktivesh avatar of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's saying when Vishnu came, Vishnu is right in front, and he's saying, "My dear Lord, you are glorified by the selected verses uttered by great personalities." So Krishna is glorified. It's called Uttama Shloka, or those verses that glorify Krishna are the best. Such glorification of your lotus feet is just like saffron particles. When the transcendental vibration from the mouths of great devotees carries the aroma of the saffron dust of your lotus feet, so when they speak, so it is like coming from all the spiritual world, right? When Prabhupada and all these pure devotees they speak, it is it touches our heart, that transcendental vibration. That's why Prabhupada says this transcendental vibration should be heard from the lips of a pure devotee. And then it will have. So when the transcendental vibration from the mouths of great devotees carries the aroma of the saffron dust of your lotus feet, the forgetful living entity gradually remembers his eternal relationship with you. So we wake up to we are ultimately understand who we are. Devotees thus gradually come to the right conclusion about the value of life. Yeah, we can live our life with the wrong goal and wrong conclusion. So we can waste one human life, which is so rare. If we don't have the right conclusion, what the right conclusion is that I'm servant of Krishna. That's the right conclusion. My dear Lord, I therefore do not need any other benediction, but the opportunity to hear from the mouth of your pure devotee. So that's what. So that's how like Prabhupada spoke, and he made so many because he was a pure devotee, and because of his purity, it affected so many people's hearts. So it is that, yeah, even though he may be speaking very basic and simple philosophy, it made people renounced. So by rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. Sometimes people say Prabhupada did not give the higher rasa and this and that. But see how how he changed the hearts of so many people. And he's speaking, he's a scholar, Bhaktivedanta Swami. He was designated as very learned person and he knows everything. But he was presenting according to the time, place, circumstances, the basic philosophy. And the more we are realized in the basics, then our spiritual life will sustain. We don't need to know so much, right? Just if we are convinced about the basics of spiritual life, and we read Krishna book, which has a lot of pastimes of Krishna. So if one seriously engages in devotional service to Lord Vasudeva, Gyan and Vairagya are automatically manifest in one's person. So if we are not getting detached, that means we are not doing serious devotional service. We are not engaging in devotional service with the right consciousness, seriously or sufficiently enough. There is no doubt of this. Prabhupada says, if you are eating, then your hunger has to be satisfied. Right? You cannot say, I'm eating, but my hunger is not satisfied. So similarly, if you are doing devotional service in the proper way, unless if you have like, some problem in your stomach and like that. But so if you are diseased, then things will not. So if you are doing it in the right way, then these things have to happen. It's a scientific. If you mix hydrogen and oxygen, and if the conditions are right, it has to give water. So that's why many times Prabhupada would say it's a science. So it may not be that we may become competent. We have, to some extent, everybody has become renounced, right, from so many things that they would have done if they did not. They lost taste in so many things. Not we may not have lost complete taste of everything. That's a pure devotee. He's lost complete taste for any material enjoyment. So we may not be at that, but still there is some you can perceive that so many things are not of so much importance to me now. So that means yes, the devotional service has worked, and it will work even more if you do it even sincerely, more with quality and more quantity. Then it will bring about more Gyan and Vairagya. So if one seriously engages in devotional service to Lord Vasudev, Gyan and Vairagya are automatically manifest in one's person. There is no doubt of this. Prajapati Daksha's accusation that Narada had not actually elevated his sons to the platform of knowledge was not factual. And if we are not getting Gyan and Vairagya, then Krishna will arrange situations in life to remove the last vestiges of attachment to this world also. For the Krishna says, if I specially favor somebody, then I will make him lose all the things. So that also is there. Or somehow or other he becomes convinced that more and more that this is the goal of life. That's nothing else. All this. So it's Krishna's special mercy. So Prajapati Daksha's accusation that Narada had not actually elevated his sons to the platform of knowledge was not factual. So it is not correct what he is saying. All the sons of Prajapati Daksha had first been raised to the platform of Gyan and had then automatically renounced this world. In summary, unless one's knowledge is awakened, renunciation cannot take place. For without elevated knowledge, one cannot give up attachment for material enjoyment. Okay, so when we are convinced like that, like many of us don't drink alcohol, right? Because we are convinced this is not good for me, or we don't smoke cigarettes. We are convinced this is not good for me, or we have given up attachment for so many other things. So because there's not, so like that there are many things. These things, yeah, we have given up, but then there may be other things we are still attached to, and we have not given it up because we are not fully convinced that this is not good for me. So like that. So it's a progressive path. And so any comments on this verse? What Daksha is saying.
We were reading Bhagavad Gita yesterday, and in the 7th chapter, first verse, Krishna is saying that, right? Maya sakta mana partha yoga minjan madashraya asamshayam samagramam yatha gyashasi takshunu. So Krishna is saying that hear from me and mind attached, and you can know me in full, free from doubts. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that there's a 9 process of, and out of all these 9 process, Shravanam is the first and most important. So, and Sri Radhika Mataji also sharing that actually these 2 things are there, right? Hear from me. So whom to hear? The source of hearing. And we were discussing, but she also shared, she gave a class on Shravanam. So she shared that the source of bad, like she gave an example of Kaikeyi heard from Manthara, and Ravan heard about Lord Mother Sita from Shupnakha, right? So these are the bad source of a person that you hear from them, and what is the effect. on their consciousness. In other word, in other side, there's a good part of hearing that, like Yagnik Brahmanas heard about Lord Krishna and Balram, and when they come and when they ask for food, and they already heard about the Lord glorification,
You mean
and
the
their
wives of the Yagnik Brahmana?
yeah, wives of the yeah.
And Rukmini herds.
And Rukmini, yeah, Rukmini and Shabari, yeah, Shabari. So these are the like good examples that you heard from the good source, and then it has another impact. Like you also said that like Sukhdev Goswami, right? He heard from Vyasdev. And the sages of Naimisharanya was hearing from the Sukhdev Goswami. So these have all these are the elevated souls. And when you heard from a bad source, then it leads to the destruction. Consciousness is completely destroyed. So the important is that one has to hear from authority. Like you were discussing about Prabhupada, right? We hearing in the parampara. Krishna is the main source that we heard from them, and and purity is the force. If you heard from a pure devotee, it will transform the heart, and it shakes the heart, and all the verses in the same words. I think all the second chapter, first canto, all the hearing verses is there, and that if you hear directly from the scripture or hear from the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or from the pure devotee, it will no, open the knot, the binding knot of this material attachment, not in the heart. So, I mean, it emphasizing that one has to constantly engage himself in the hearing, and also we discuss that kinds of hearing, right? What type of like bad listener and good listener, or is not important that if you just hear and hear, there will be no transformation if you don't hear in that consciousness. Like there's a 5 good hearer and 5 bad listener also. So like one should hear like a chatak bird, because chatak bird is accepting only the rainwater, and swan is like he has a quality to separate the milk in water. So we just take up the essence of the scriptures, and like a parrot, what we heard, we will share, we will repeat that knowledge to others. And like fish also, like fish is not blinking his eyes, so very attentively one has to hear Krishna Katha, right? In that. So, and the other lower categories of listeners, like wolf, he is disturbing, right? Right, Mother, you said that, right? Is disturbing. Also, he's also disturbing others to listen. Katha. And Brunda bird is there, that is not practicing in their own life. He's saying that what he heard, but is not matching with their own practice. And bull is there, that I forgot that what is this bad quality, but yeah, like that is and other is like think camel is there. So
Bull will eat
yeah,
anything and everything.
Eat everything.
yeah, they eat everything. Yes, exactly. So yeah, I mean, one has to. There should be a qualification of hearing also. Like you give the example. Prabhupada is very fond of hearing. He always listen. If a good listener is a good orator also. If you listen very carefully, one is able to explain nicely, and because you actually understand the topic, understand the essence of the scripture, and then you may be able to convince others, because you purify yourself, you convince yourself with that knowledge, and then then you have that ability to convince others also, to give the same knowledge. So yeah, I mean, let's remind that even uh, Krishna also says that you hear from me. Many places in the Yagnik Brahmana, he says that don't think about the physical proximity. You hear and you know me. You just follow the instructions and hear about me. So you will be with me always.
So I also we discussed yesterday how knowledge should lead to transformation by gyan should lead to vigyan. Both are needed. 9.1 Krishna says jnana vijnana sahitam. So we may have the knowledge, but we may not have the realization. So there is a process going from Shravanam to Mananam, Nididhyasan, Sakshatkaram. So what we have heard, we meditate on it, we understand, and then when situations come, we apply it in our life. So then we get a realization. Yes, this is true. So unless we have the realization, we would not understand it properly. Also, as you were giving the example of when we eat, we should become full, but there are Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has this example of, okay, why are these people in my mutt, they're not advancing in bhakti, they're doing everything, they're chanting their rounds. He says because there are worms in their stomach, which means they have ulterior desires, material motives, or some bad habits, secret bad habits. So, if we do unfavorable things while we're doing favorable things, we will not see progress. So, we will not feel nourished. So, we have to avoid the unfavorable things.
Yes, very good points. Yeah, there is a verse in the Bhagavatam. Tashraddhana munayo jnana vairagya yuktaya pashyanti atmani chatmanam bhaktya shruta grihitaya. The seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realizes that absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti. So, so he renders devotional service based on what he has heard, and in this way, of course, here it says equipped with knowledge and detachment, realizes that absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti. So
Same
he
thing.
realizes
And
Krishna.
that other was Bhakti Parishanu Bhava Viraktiranyatra Jai Kala. Prapadya Manasya Yathasnatasya Tushti Pushti Shuddhapyo Anughasham. So when we do devotion, we should get direct experience of the Lord and detachment. These three things happen. Just like how we eat, we feel pleasure, we feel nourished, and then our hunger goes away. All these things should happen. If they're not happening, we have to see what we are doing wrong.
Yeah, and we should not become discouraged. We should just, yeah, try to see. It will take time also, that is also there, because our desires are very deep. But the thing is, we want to change. That's the main thing. Yesterday, Alankar Prabhu was telling, right? That we hear, okay, because Amarnath Prabhu asked the question, that we hear about the chanting so much, this and that, but still it's like theory. So why is it not happening? So then, yeah, then discussion it came up that because when we hear, we also want to apply, we want to change. The desire to change should be there. If we want to keep things as they are, then it will not work, right? So that means change means we have to want to apply what we have heard in our life, and sometimes we may fail. That's okay, but we try again. So we should never give up trying, right? So someday we will succeed. So keep trying. So like, and another way also to look at, let's do, let's go have good consciousness for 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes, let me chant very nicely. Let me absorb my mind in Krishna for 5 minutes. Then we can analyze, okay, or this one mantra, let me chant with all my devotion and very attention. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare like that, then we can say, okay, now I did, it seems to be working. We get some confidence. Yes, I did it nicely. Then again, repeat it, that small, whatever you did. So, like that, then our whole day we can fill up with all these small, small things, and then it'll be a nice day. So, so we control our mind, let's say for 5 minutes, and then after that, okay, then again, actually we have to control our mind every moment, right? Because it's difficult, but sometimes it's difficult. So we make little resolve. Okay, start with a small. For a whole day, I have to control my mind. That's maybe difficult. So at least start small units and then do it, repeat that, repeat that, like that. So then our whole day will become absorbed. So Prajapati Daksha continued. If you think that simply awakening the sense of renunciation will detach one from the material world, okay, that's the one we read. So, and yeah, I was thinking hearing should be done for not for getting knowledge or anything. I want to get purified. Basically, that's the main thing. It is not to like repeat to somebody. That's why I'm hearing. Then it loses its like that impact. We hear because I want to become free from contamination. And then if I become free from contamination, then love of Krishna will automatically manifest because it's there in the heart already. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabunoy. What is it?
श्रवणादि सिद्ध चित्ते कर होता है.
So I want to purify. Of course, that purification means hearing about Krishna. Of course, that's only like we were discussing that if our computer has no space, then we have to delete some files. Like sometimes it says you have no space on your hard drive. Now you can delete this temporary files and this files, and then so we can delete all the clutter in our mind from so many experiences and impressions and misconceptions that is all gathered in the mind so that we can make way for Krishna to enter or somehow or other push Krishna in the mind, then all the other clutter will go away. Om apavitro pavitro va
सर्वस्थगतोऽपि
sarvavastha.
यस्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षस्य भायाभ्यन्तरशुचिः.
So it says whether you are purified or not purified, just bring Krishna. Just think, one who thinks of Krishna, then he becomes clean. So bring Krishna. So some place Prabhupada says mind should be forced to think of Krishna. But because we don't have that much attachment, so mind does not stay fixed. So then after some time it diverts somewhere else, right? So, but when we have love, then it becomes very steady. But that love is raganuga, like it's the raganuga spontaneous thing. So that comes with purification of heart.
And I was just remembering, hearing did not lead to transformation in the case of Kayadu, who was also hearing from Narad Muni, as well as Dhritarashtra, who was hearing the whole of Bhagavad Gita from Sanjay, because they were distracted. They had ulterior motives, and they were not hearing for the purification of their heart.
Dhritarashtra was hearing because he wanted to know whether my sons are winning or not, right? What is going to happen? If Arjuna is not going to fight, that was his main. He was inquisitive about something, whether if Duryodhana will win the battle, if Arjuna will not fight, then my sons will be victorious. So he had that kind of. He was hearing to know what is happening on the battlefield, and is Duryodhana going to win or not? That was his main concern. So he was not. So all this talk about the soul and being equipoised in material happiness that was not making any sense to him because already here his mind was fixed on something. So So that is when our mind is preoccupied, then we can't hear properly also. That same thing happened with Kayadu, right? She was also thinking, what will happen to my son and when will my husband come back, right? So she was, and it was naturally you think like that, right? Because she was alone and so but Prahlad was not thinking like that. And he was hearing the same message. So when you hear, then you have to just keep everything outside. Like they say, leave all your garbage outside, and then come and sit in the class and hear. Don't bring all the garbage with you. So sometimes they say when you chant, you take sannyas. Right? You chant means you forget everything about all this life and which has in one sense no relevance to our eternal spiritual journey. All this job and this we have done so many lifetimes. All this job and this and this. At least we, of course, we have to pay attention. But at least for now, when we are chanting, forget everything. Forget. Just absorb in the holy name. So like that. That all we can worry about it later. So, of course, I'm saying this to myself, but by speaking and like mana shiksha, by instructing the mind, then we can actually direct the mind properly. So we have to give, mind is giving instructions to us, or we give instructions to the mind. That's the two things, right? We should give instruction to the mind, not mind give instruction to us. So this is what you're supposed to do. Like we tell child, you do this. This is what you are supposed to do. So mind is like that. Okay. So the one more verse we'll read. Nanu bhuya na janati, nanu bhuya na janati, puman vishaya tikshanatam nirvidyate swayam tasman na tatha bhinnadhi pare. Difficult to make out what this means. Puman vishaya. Okay. Material enjoyment is indeed the cause of all unhappiness. So Daksha is saying this. Material enjoyment is indeed the cause of all unhappiness, which is correct. But one cannot give it up unless one has personally experienced how much suffering it is. Oh, so he's saying that. He's saying the third way to learn by experience, not by hearing. He says, yeah, material enjoyment is, but you have to realize that. That material enjoyment is the cause of suffering, then you can give it up. You have to experience that, which is the third way of learning. We say the first way is to learn by hearing, the second way is to learn by seeing, and the third way is to learn by experience. Therefore, one should be allowed to remain in so-called material enjoyment while simultaneously advancing in knowledge to experience the misery of this false material happiness. So he's saying you have to go through this material life to experience the miserable condition and at the same time cultivate knowledge. Then without the help from others, one will find material enjoyment detestful. Yeah, because he has personal experience, right? So it's not like you have to ask somebody because you personally experienced it. This is very bad. Those whose minds are changed by others do not become as renounced as those who have personal experience. Yeah, he's saying that. Yeah, so just by, if somebody changes, but they didn't have the experience, like somebody says material enjoyment is bad, but you didn't experience yourself that it is bad, then you will not be so renounced like a person who has actually experienced that it is bad.
So does it mean that only hearing and seeing would not help and we have to go through the experience to learn it?
He is saying like this because he's saying that his son should have gone through the, you know, the grihastha life, and then if they experience suffering, then they should have become renounced. Because Narad Muni, without having them go through the grihastha ashram, and they have not actually realized. Just by hearing, he just spoke and he made them renounce. So he is saying in favor of like that what Narad Muni has done is wrong, because you have made them renounce by just by hearing. So like that he say, yeah.
He doesn't know that a person has multiple lives. So he has been experiencing for multiple lives. This is not the first life. So some people are very renounced, like Radhnath Maharaj. Very in childhood, only 16 years old, he left his house and he became a traveling beggar and became sannyasi. So this means there is a previous some some influence, some what you can experience in previous lives of this detachment coming into their heart, going through some particular experience of miserable material world, that they automatically become renounced. So multiple lifetimes of, we don't need to experience it again in this life.
That is true. Yeah, that is, some people have trauma and things that from their past life, their phobias and things like that. They're fearful because they went through a difficult. Somehow it's there in their mind like that. So that's why they don't want to. But here also another way to look at it is that Daksha was thinking that they were obedient. They were going to become grihasthas and things like that. Haryashvas and Shaulashvas were going to become grihasthas. But and they were agreeable to their father in the beginning. But he is accusing Narad Muni that because of you, your thing, they have changed. So, yeah, because you interfered in their life, and that's why they lost this desire. So, and of course, it may be their previous life, Haryashva, and so of course, the same message may be told, and some people may have that from their past life. It immediately becomes like,
They are like dry wood. They are, the fire is lit,
yeah,
coming in contact with the pure devotee, they fan the spark. The
yeah,
others are wet wood. They're not ready yet. So even if Narad Muni speaks it to other materialists, they will not become renounced.
so that is also there, yeah. And then the mercy of the pure devotee is also there. You may not have had any previous thing, but because the pure devotee desires,
Mhm.
and so
Valmiki Muni, Daku Ratnakar, how he became Valmiki Muni and started chanting Ram Nam by Narad Muni. Mrigari hunter.
yeah, so when the pure devotee gives you blessings and he desires for you, then somehow something happens. So Narad Muni desired like that, so that it happened. So, or you can say they were dry wood, and when he heard the instructions, it immediately. So whatever it is.
But most of the cases, we see that most of the cases one has to go through that experience to get that conviction. Even Dhritarashtra also, like Krishna also gives the wisdom, right? Krishna is a lord, but he gives the wisdom. Vidura gives the wisdom, but as you're saying, that his mind is completely occupied. He was not ready to take up that wisdom. And when he becomes so empty, he lose everything. Like he
Yeah.
got attached with the child, with his own children and kingdom, and I want to be king and like that. So when he lose everything, that he went through that experience, and then his heart is ready to accept that instructions. And then Vidura come back and give that, and even that time also he uses very harsh words to him, and he's ready to accept that one. So one has to, I mean, most of the cases when he goes through that experience makes more convinced.
Yeah. So generally we learn through some hearing, some experience. I mean, in our case, and some seeing also. And sometimes it takes multiple experiences to learn also. So because one experience may not be sufficient to convince us. So we have to go through many lifetimes of experience, and then finally one says, "Oh, bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudev saromiti samahatma sudurlabha." We say, "Okay, I have had enough now. I'm exhausted. I don't want all this." So like that. Yeah, and yeah, so the experience may be in the previous life also. That's what Radhika is saying. That yeah, it can be because mind has come from that life to this life. So it may not be in this life, but from previous life, mind, as we read, is the repository of all the experiences, and we have had in not only in this life but previous lives also. So okay, so let's see. It is said that unless a woman becomes pregnant, she cannot understand the trouble of giving birth to a child. Yeah, so those women who have never been pregnant, they don't know what it is to deliver a child, right? I mean, you can think about it and so many things, but you're not experienced, Prabhupada is saying. Bandhya ki buchibe prasava vedana. The word bandhya means a sterile woman. Such a woman cannot give birth to a child. How can then she perceive the pain of delivery? Right? So those who don't have children, they don't know what it takes to raise a child, right? I mean, we can speak all the theory and so many things, but those who actually have children, they know what it takes, right? You have to get up at night and you have to like take so many things and like that. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. According to the philosophy of Prajapati Daksha, a woman should first become pregnant and then experience the pain of childbirth. Then, if she is intelligent, she will not want to be pregnant again. Maybe previously childbirth was very, they had to go through labor pain, there was no anesthesia, and so she goes through so much pain like that, and she says, "No, no, I will never become pregnant again. This is too much for me to go through." But to experience that pain, she has to first go through that childbirth. That's what he's saying. According to a woman should first become pregnant and then experience the pain of childbirth. Then, if she is intelligent, she will not want to be pregnant again. Actually, however, this is not a fact. So Prabhupada is saying, no, it's not like that. Sex enjoyment is so strong that a woman becomes pregnant and suffers at the time of childbirth, but she becomes pregnant again despite her experience. So already she had so much difficulty in giving birth to a child first time. But again, here he says, Prabhupada's sex enjoyment is so strong. So again, she becomes pregnant and she didn't learn from her experience. So what Daksha is saying that once you go through an experience, then you will not want it. And Prabhupada is saying, no, no, it's not like that. You went through the experience and that's not sufficient because again you go through the same experience. You didn't learn from it. So it's not that experience will, so you may not learn even if you went through an experience. That's what Prabhupada is saying. According to Daksha's philosophy, one should become implicated in material enjoyment so that after experiencing the distress of such enjoyment, one will automatically renounce. So Daksha is saying, yeah, if you suffer, then you will renounce. After enjoying, you will suffer, then you will renounce. Material nature, however, is so strong that although man suffers at every step, he will not cease his attempts to enjoy. So it's like the hot sugarcane juice. It's burning your tongue, but somehow or other you can't stop drinking it. So one problem with the conditioned soul is that although material world is a place of suffering where repeated birth and death takes place, he's still attached to it. He doesn't want to stop. That's what like somebody has, taken drugs and has gone through so many. Of course, his body has become like that, so he's become addicted to it. But he's gone through so much suffering, but still he keeps taking drugs, right? he still keeps taking it, or smoke, whatever it is, like that. So, tripyanti neha kripana bahu dukkha bhaja. This is that verse. Yan maithunadi grihamedi sukhamitucham. Kandu yanena karo yoriva dukkha dukkam. Tripyanti neha kripana bahu dukkha bhaja. Kandu tivan manasijam vishahet tira. So that verse is saying that, in sex life is like a itch, and the more you scratch, the worse it gets, and then because it never satisfies, right? Dushpurinanalina. And there's so much trouble that sometimes Prabhupada says licit or illicit, sex life is a source of trouble, because then you have to. But of course, we say dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. That Krishna says that, yeah, it is meant for bringing forth Krishna conscious children, but to raise a child, it's not so easy. Right? That's why people don't want more children. Right? After some time, they say, no, now I cannot have any more children. They know the pain of raising a child. So, tripyanti neha kripana bahu dukkha bhaja. Under the circumstances, unless one gets the association of a devotee like Narad Muni or his servant in the disciplic succession, one's dormant spirit of renunciation cannot be awakened. So you have to meet somebody like Narad Muni or his servant like Prabhupada in the disciplic succession. Then only this spirit of renunciation can be awakened. And otherwise it cannot be. That is why if we are not in the parampara, as so many people are doing, but like in ISKCON, the way they are dedicating, right, so many devotees, that you won't find other places, because it is not hearing from a disciplic succession coming from Narad Muni. So Narad Muni and his servant like Prabhupada, they are like, the same message is coming in the parampara from Narad Muni. What Narad Muni we say, Krishna, Brahma, Narada, Vyasa, like that. So same it is coming through Prabhupada. And the spirit of renunciation is for the good of the soul, because then he will leave this world and go home to the eternal home. We don't want to stay in this world in the cycle of birth and death forever. So it's right. It's a nice thing, right, to get into a happy situation. It's not a bad situation or a bad thing. Yeah, somebody wants to say. Anybody? Okay, so we'll finish this. It is not a fact that because material enjoyment involves so many painful conditions, one will automatically become detached. So even going through so much difficulty, one may not become detached. Because for one thing, they may not know what is the alternative, right? This is the only way. Everybody is doing the same way. So unless you know that there is an alternative, Krishna consciousness, so that is one thing. And the second thing is that you may not be experiencing, or we may not be experiencing sufficient taste in Krishna consciousness. So we are still going on with the same thing. Because ultimately at our heart we want enjoyment. So if we don't get spiritual enjoyment, then our material enjoyment keeps going. One needs the blessings of a devotee like Narad Muni. So to become detached, you need the blessings of a devotee like Narad Muni. Then one can renounce his attachment for the material world. The young boys and girls of the Krishna consciousness movement have given up the spirit of material enjoyment, not because of practice, but by the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his servants. That is Srila Prabhupada. So many young boys, and that also in Western world, right? The Western body is very more suited for enjoyment. Indian body is more like for austerity. It's easy to practice austerity, and Western, of course, now so many Western people are also observing austerities. for material progress, right? They work so hard. But yeah, so that also, because they are not raised and they also renounced, right? So that's the Prabhupada is saying it's the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his servants. Okay, so any comments?
Yeah, I think what Daksha is speaking is a philosophy that Osho speaks. You do so much sense enjoyment that at one point it will become detestful. That's how you become detached. Prabhupada rejected that philosophy. Param drishtva nivartate. We have to get a higher taste to get rid of these lower tastes. There's no other way.
Like sometimes they say that if you put so much
Ghee.
kerosene on the fire, it may become like extinguished for the time being, but then it will blaze also after some time with great, or it may die down. But through repeated material experiences, maybe after so many and going through so much suffering, it may. But Prabhupada is denying that here, in the, that although a man suffers at every step, he will not cease his attempts to enjoy, unless he gets the blessings of a devotee in the parampara, like that. And the impersonalists may also have come to that conclusion, but they also are very austere. They don't engage in sense gratification,
But they fall down because they don't have the higher taste.
higher taste. Yeah. So, yeah, this is the revolutionary thing, that spiritual and material enjoyment will give you suffering. Prabhupada also says that, yeah, there may be some feeling of happiness, but in that, what is that? There may be some feeling of
That very happiness is the enemy of the sense enjoyment.
enemy of the conditioned soul, because it will give him different bodies, and he is not seeing the bigger picture and why he's in the material world. All these things is, we are all here because we want to. So can we not enjoy? We can enjoy according to the shastric injunctions, right? Some, there is provisions for enjoyment, but when you get spiritual enjoyment, then you will cease. You will not even look at regulated sense enjoyment according to Shastra, because you are just getting. But that is very high platform. So till that we reach, we can have regulated sense gratification according to the conditioned soul. That's why there is all this ashramas, because yeah, different. So to gradually elevate, and there are so many scriptures to gradually elevate, because immediately it is not possible.
And the spirit soul also become immune to such suffering because he just is attached to few drops of honey that is coming from the enjoyment. So it's a mix of enjoyment and distress, right? That man hanging from the branch of a tree, being bitten by the bees and surrounded by so many dangers, still he is enjoying the little drops of honey. So amidst of all the distress, that I think Prahlad Maharaj also says that these little drops of honey is sustaining him. He's ready to suffer all the pains for a little enjoyment that he feels.
I think Chanakya Pandit has said that to save a family, one should abandon a man. To save the village, one should abandon a family. To save the country, abandon a village. And to save the soul, abandon the earth. So this is a hierarchy, right? Of sacrifice. So
Yeah, for that means for a
yeah,
higher cause,
for the higher purpose,
you can give up
right?
the lower
Give
cause.
up the lower cause, yeah.
Yeah, like people sacrifice their life for the nation, right? And leaving aside their family, because nation is more important than their family. So they are given the Paramvir Chakra or like that. Okay.
So ultimate philosophy is Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The whole world is my family.
to sacrifice for God is the highest thing. And sacrifice means you spread God's message to everybody. That's the highest, ultimately. To sacrifice your life in the service of God, that's the highest. And the service of God means taking care of His part and parcels and giving them Krishna consciousness. After we are practicing and we are also knowledgeable in this, that's highest. Okay. Or you can be Bhajananandi also. At least you are saving yourself. But our is a movement of sharing. Prahlad Maharaj, right? We say our movement is based on Prahlad Maharaj. That verse. Naivod Vijay Paradurataya Vaitaranya Stvad Virya Kayan Mahamrita Magna Chitta.
Soche tatko mukh chet sandriya tamaya sukhaya bharm udvato bhungan.
Yes. And then the other verse.
That's the Goshti Anandi is first a Bhajananandi, means we need both Achar and Prachar. Preaching by example.
Yeah. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. We'll stop here. And we'll see if anybody has anything to say, I think.
If anybody has anything, I can share on Bhajan.
Yeah.
Okay, listening. Okay, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Keno Hare Krishna naam Hari bole mano pran kandina पाखी ना जानी कौन अपराधे मुखे हरे कृष्ण नाम बोलो ना किनो हरे कृष्ण नाम हरि बोले मनो प्राण कांदेना पनीर पाखी रे धरे राखलम हृदय मंदिरे मधुमखाए हरि नाम पाखी रे शिखे किनो हरे कृष्ण नाम हरि बोले मन प्राण कांदेना पाखी सकल नाम बोलते पारो किनो हरे कृष्ण नाम बोलो ना किनो हरे कृष्ण नाम हरि बोले मन प्राण कांदेना चलो पाखी रूपे देशे जाए जे देशेते मनेर मानुष आशा जाइयो ना किनो हरे कृष्ण नाम हरि बोले मन प्राण कांदेना पाखी रे तोर मरण कालेते चरबी वासिर दौलते ओरे चार जनिते कांढे कोरे लोई जाबे शमशान घाटते किनो हरे कृष्ण नाम हरि बोले मन प्राण कांदेना ओरे ओ तोर मुखे আগুন জিবে তুলে কি করে বিতাই বলো না কেন হরে কৃষ্ণ নাম হরি বলে মনো প্রাণ কান্দে না. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, oh my, why does my heart not weep from chanting the holy names of Hare Krishna? The bird of my heart does not know what past sinful activities it has committed to cause this inability to chant Hare Krishna properly. O forest bird, I have kept something for you very carefully within the cottage of my heart, the holy name of Hari, which is overflowing with pure sweet honey. O bird, you could learn the chanting of this name if you were taught. A bird is easily able to speak all names. Why then does this bird of my heart refuse to chant Hare Krishna? Oh, why does my heart not weep from chanting the holy names Hare Krishna? O bird, come, let us go to the spiritual world, the land of true and everlasting beauty. It is the place where the imaginary man of my mind will never again come and go on the revolving cycle of birth and death. O bird, at the time of death, your body will simply be placed upon a funeral stretcher, lifted on the shoulders of 4 persons, and carried to the cremation grounds. Alas, the cremation fire will enter your mouth and then totally consume your tongue. There will be nothing you can do to save yourself, for at that time it's too late. You will not be able to speak anymore. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that why am I not weeping? Why tears are not coming from my eyes while chanting the holy name? So, Bhagavatam says that our heart is steel framed, that it has certainly that heart is steel framed. In spite of chanting the holy name, there is no ecstasy that is felt, there is no tears in the eyes, there is no hair standing on end. Our acharyas say that that should happen. So our heart is steel framed because we have anarthas in our heart, because we have material desires of enjoyment in this world, and we have done aparadh in the past sinful activities. So he's analyzing, why am I not chanting properly? Why I'm not feeling ecstatic while chanting? Because I think I've done something wrong, past sinful activities. So the holy name is so sweet, but I'm not experiencing the sweetness. He's saying. And why does my tongue refuse to chant Hare Krishna mantra? So, but he's telling his mind, let us go to the spiritual world, which is a land of true and everlasting beauty. And there, mind will not disturb me. So in this world, mind disturbs us. And mind is what keeps us in the cycle of birth and death. And he's reminding himself that whatever is going on in my mind, I should remember that I'm going to die one day, and the time of death, I'm on the cremation grounds. He's envisioning how 4 people will come and take my body, and cremation fire will enter my mouth, and my tongue will be consumed by fire, and I will not be able to chant then, because it would be too late. So he's analyzing that I have time right now. I have been given a tongue, so I should chant the holy name and deliver myself from this cycle of birth and death and all the miseries of the material world by nicely chanting the holy name. And so we were discussing yesterday how there are these jadiya, vikshepa, and audasinia. That is a hindrance to the chanting of the holy name. Laziness, distraction, thinking there are other enjoyable things. And audasinia means indifference, not knowing what we have gotten. So, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we should also analyze how was my chanting today? Why am I not chanting? And we do corrective measures and do everything possible. So endeavor is in our hands. Every day is a chance given by Krishna. One day will be the last day. We'll not be able to. So at least, even if we have made mistakes in the past, well, Krishna has given us another day to correct our mistakes. We can beg for forgiveness and repent and correct our mistakes. So so that we can go back to the spiritual world. We don't have to take another birth. I was sharing this last thing. I was sharing this picture. I meditate while I'm chanting. Let me see if I can paste it in Zoom. It's possible or not. Okay. Yeah. So this picture says that Krishna is telling this person that you have to let go of these. So if there are anarthas in our heart, that we realize this, there are material desires, there is envy for devotees, there is anger, there is lust, there is all these jealousy and stuff. So we have to let go. If we have to enter into the doors to take the Vaikuntha Airlines at the airport, we have to go through security doors. So it will beep if we have any bit of anartha left in us. So what is more important to me is the anarthas. Anarthas for am I attached to my anarthas more than attached to Krishna? Do I love my anarthas that I don't want to give them up for Krishna? So you should think that today I have another day to give them up. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, with this baggage, you cannot go through that because they say there is the hole or the passage is so small that with all this huge bag, you cannot pass through it. So you have to become Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadina, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Right? What is that Sakri quote? There is only either,
Mm.
it's what is that? That something is there, right?
Yeah. What is that? प्रेम गली अति सांखरी दुई न समाए जब मैं था तो हरि नहीं अब हरि है तो मैं नहीं. So the prem gully is very narrow. Me and my false ego cannot stay. So the मैं is my false ego. It's about me, my enjoyment. I am the center. Everybody should appreciate me. So that has to be given up. And the actual size of the soul is 1/10,000th of the tip of the hair. We are very insignificant. VIP. I'm a very insignificant person. If Krishna does not help me, so Krishna book we were reading how Arjuna was being helped by Krishna. He was just Krishna placed him, and Krishna wanted to glorify him, make him an instrument, but this Barbaric was seeing the whole battle of Kurukshetra, and he was seeing that nobody was fighting with each other. It was Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra who was killing everybody. So a person may think that I am the doer, I am doing this, but actually it's only Krishna. Only through false pride, this pride is another nartha in us, that we think that I am the doer. Actually Krishna, and that's why later on Arjuna he lost to those coward men who attacked him while he was bringing Krishna's wives back, and he's understood that I have the same Gandiv bow, I'm the same Arjuna, and I could not win over these simple cowherd people. How is that possible? Because Krishna was not there.
Did he forget Krishna at that point, or
He didn't forget Krishna, but maybe it's like a Bhagavatam is a lesson for us, right?
Example, yeah, it's teaching was by pastime, right?
Yeah. So Kanak Kamani Pratishtha. Kanak Kamani is very easy to detach ourselves from wealth, from the opposite gender, but Pratishtha Asha, very difficult. The desire for name, fame, prestige, being the center is very hard to go. That's what I heard from one devotee.
Okay, so this is very like we are giving this body so much attention, but what will happen? Final destination of the body will be that it will be on the carried by on a stretcher of 4 people, and it will burn on the funeral pyre. We are decorating our body and taking so much care of our body, but what is the final destination? So that is what is. And if you have seen any death in your family, then you can remember. I saw 2 deaths in my family where I was involved, and I saw the body burn. So, or you may have gone to Smashan and seen also. Where is that? That's Kashi or somewhere, right? There's money. What is it?
Manikarnika Ghat.
Manikarnika Ghat, right? All
But every time, 24 hours, their bodies are burning. Since that, like, it seems like a time immemorial. But yeah, I mean, I have been there because I born there, I raised there, so I saw that. And that time, you actually develop like so much detachment, samshan vairagya. That you see that bodies are in the line, like one fire, then one body finished the
like
fire, and then other is putting up there,
like
and
in
then
COVID time also, I think in India there was
yeah,
there was line of bodies that were coming, and they
yeah,
didn't have enough, right? So they had to wait one by one. Constantly, it was burning.
That's why it's called Samshan Vairagya. It stays only for some time. Then Ahani Ani Bhutani Gachanti Yamalim. What is the most wonderful thing is we are seeing that people are dying, but we don't think that I'm going to die, and so we are not preparing for our death.
That's one way is to make spiritual progress is to forget the bodily conception of life. Completely forget that. But it's very difficult. I'm just saying that if you forget the bodily conception of life and just identify of you as a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna, servant of Krishna. That's how it should be. Then we are not so much worried about this, like how it looks, and of course we have to take care of the body. I'm not saying that exercise and all that we have to do, so that it's the way we use it in our service. But we'll forget about all this looking very beautiful and wearing nice clothes and all these things, and we don't care about what other people think about us. Right? Of course, sometimes we say for preaching we have to be presentable, so we have to wear clean clothes and like that. But many times it is to look nice to others that we. So
And generally, people may be attracted instantly by beauty, but for a long time, they are attracted by a beautiful heart, by good qualities. That's how we can attract Krishna, is to have a beautiful soul, have beautiful qualities.
yeah, that day we were hearing from who was Nitai Sivani Mataji. She was saying that some people have very beautiful, but their heart is not.
Right.
And she was saying that they look very beautiful, but their heart is not like. And we don't feel attracted to such a person.
Taking care of body is also important because this is a medium
No,
to
I'm
do
I'm
our
talking.
sadhana.
Yes, taking care is like whatever you have to exercise and like that's important, right? Eating, but I'm saying that to make it look more and more nicer.
Yeah.
Some people spend a
They-
lot of money on clothes and jewelry and cosmetics.
Maybe it is more for, as Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was saying, that because for women it is like more. That's why we have more cosmetics and for because that is a sense of their self worth, right? In the female body, he was saying like that. That's how the world is designed like that. That is how people look at you, and yeah, okay. But it can be for man and woman. So ultimately, everybody is prakriti. Only Krishna is purusha. When Mirabai came to meet Rupa Goswami said, "No, I will not see you because you are Rupa Goswami or who was it? I don't know which acharya was it." But then
Sanatana.
Sanatan
Sanatan,
Goswami. Mirabai, right?
and then he said, "No, yeah, Krishna is only male. We are all prakriti." So then he said, "Okay."
I think Sanatan Goswami said that way, I don't meet any woman.
Yeah.
And then she said that, oh, I don't know that is there any man in this earth except Krishna. So Krishna is the only Purusha. And those who
Yeah, but
belong to this.
even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was very strict, because although you may be on a spiritual platform, but other people are not. So if a sannyasi should not be in a solitude with a woman, right? So how others will perceive it, how our acharyas, they do things.
And there is a verse, Matra Swashra Duhitrava. Right? That verse Prabhupada quotes many times also.
Yeah, Bhakti Siddhanta wouldn't even talk to a woman unless the husband was present.
Correct.
So that should be the standard.
One should, yeah, in mind, in words, and everywhere, one should observe this principle of renunciation like that. Okay, so anything else you want to say on this song? Okay. So what is the time? We'll hear that lecture. Some question answer was going on with Keshav Maharaj. More valuable than gold.
How do we please the Vaishnavas?
How do we please the Vaishnavas? Get them a cheesecake. The Vaishnavas have desires in their hearts to serve Krishna. The Vaishnavas have only one ambition: to serve Krishna. And each Vaishnava has very specific plans of how they want to serve Krishna in this life. So if you want to please them, help them. Find out, how do they want to serve Krishna? How do they want to please Mahaprabhu? What do they want to do for Srila Prabhupada? And then ask yourself, what can I do to help? We are very tiny. We are only servants of our spiritual teachers. So therefore, the first thing is assist them in their service to Krishna. Just like Srila Prabhupada assisted Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and just as Srila Prabhupada's disciples assisted him, become an assistant. And then you please the Vaishnavas by being a living example of what Srila Prabhupada wanted to share with the world.
Actually, before that, I think Vaishali wanted to share a verse that she has memorized, right? I forgot about it. Would you like to share? If she's there, I don't know if she's hearing. Okay.
Hello. Sorry, Hare Krishna. One second.
You have time to give the class. Want to share the verse that you had memorized?
We cannot hear you properly.
You can't hear me?
Now I can, yes.
Okay. I don't know what happened. Vaishali is there on call or not? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So you wanted to share a verse, right? That you had
I'll do it tomorrow now.
tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
Srila Prabhupada said, my movement will be a success if I make one pure devotee. And therefore your purity, your humility, your Vaishnav character, and your own practice of spiritual life, that will please the Vaishnavas, and that will make them smile. And then they'll give you more mercy, and they'll say, may you continue and go higher and higher. So serve and become a living example of what the Vaishnavas came here to teach. Become a living theology. Then they'll be very pleased. Is that okay? It's hard to... Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you for the class. we understand that different communities have different strengths, and I was just thinking, as you're traveling around the world, what's something that's allowed you about other communities and really good and maybe doing stuff?
So every community has strengths, and as we travel around the world, we see many communities which have many strengths. And what is something that all of us here in London, in Panavasena, what can we learn? Of course, nowadays I would want to be with Panavasena more. I'm not so much, so I don't know exactly everything that's going on. But I think one thing that I was just in a community recently and I saw, which I thought, that's so simple, but that's so beautiful and that's so powerful. And that I felt I need to do this much more in my life, and maybe as a community we can do that much more. Is in this community I saw so much of a deep connection with Srila Prabhupada. I mean, all of the devotees were listening to Prabhupada's lectures. All of the devotees in this particular temple, they have Prabhupada's rooms there. And what many of the devotees do is every single day when they come back to the temple, they go to Srila Prabhupada's rooms and they report to Srila Prabhupada, this is what we did today. And I thought that's so beautiful. There was such a strong consciousness and connection with Srila Prabhupada. And I thought that's so powerful. That's why this community is getting so much blessings. That's why the devotees are so strong. That's why they're so bold. Because everything that Srila Prabhupada is, everything that Srila Prabhupada stands for, that strength, that being bold, that complete clarity and conviction of Krishna consciousness, if you're connected with Srila Prabhupada, then you draw from that treasure house. And so I realized, my God, all the devotees here are really being blessed. So please, please, please listen to Prabhupada's lectures. It's powerful. Read all of Srila Prabhupada's books. Of course, that goes without saying. And not only that, read Prabhupada's conversations. When I first came to Panavasena, then I don't know if all of you know Leela Kamala Kirti at that time. But I was about 17 or whatever it was. And I had read one book. And then she came to me one day and she said, I've got a set of Prabhupada's conversations. So I was like, oh, can I read one? So I read one and I read it in 3 days. And I was like, this is amazing. Prabhupada's conversations are so good. And basically, before I read any other Prabhupada book, I finished all of Prabhupada's conversations. And I thought that, I feel that was so defining for me because I really learned Srila Prabhupada's mood. So listen to Srila Prabhupada. Read his books. Read the biographies of Srila Prabhupada. Go to Calcutta and connect with Srila Prabhupada, who on that rooftop was instructed by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Go to New York and spend some time and just sit in 26 Second Avenue and just remember Srila Prabhupada, who all alone in the winter of 1966 was preaching on the Skid Row of the Lower East Side. If you have a strong relationship with Srila Prabhupada, all the blessings will come. So perhaps that is something that we can all learn. Improve on. There are more hands, but I don't know how we're doing.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. All right, yeah, Lucas.
So Maharaj, you spoke about how the saints are able to really tolerate struggle and strife. How do we deal in our own experiences when we're receiving a lot of challenge, but we don't have the capacity for advancement to cope? the challenges?
So what do we do when we're going through challenges and we feel like we don't have the capacity? Yes, we are not transcendental yet. Therefore, we have to be realistic. Therefore, in our lives, we look for stability. We look for things which give us strength. We look for some sense of security. And therefore, we invest also in those things. We spend time nourishing ourselves, going deeper, as I was saying. And then what happens is, as we spend time drawing some boundaries and energizing ourselves, then we emerge in the world and we find we have more strength than we begun with. And therefore, be realistic. As sometimes in your spiritual life, you may need to step back and put the emphasis somewhere else where you can get some strength. So it's okay. It's not a failure. It's a long game. It's a long life. So play the long game. But always do something Krishna conscious. So if you feel like service and the intensity of life in active Krishna consciousness movement and the struggles of the world around you are having a toll on your body and mind, then just step away. But step away and do something spiritual. And as you step away and do something spiritual, you'll emerge again stronger and able to deal with more. So yeah, just know life is like riding a bike, so you have to keep on adjusting. So just adjust and look for places which give you spiritual strength. It's okay.
Thank you for the class, Maharaj. Maharaj, you talked about sort of two types of devotees, or two main groups that I was seeing. These devotees that may be externally preaching quite a lot, and then this devotee that is a lot more internal, their bhajan, like Gadadhar Pandit, for example. So my question is, how do we find out which type of devotee we are, what the balance is for us? And then also as a community, how do we encourage others to maybe figure out what's right for them, what the right balance is for them?
I think all of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees are internally deep. It's not that some are deep and some are kind of superficial and therefore they do active stuff. No, everyone is deep. Those who are managers have to be deep. Otherwise, what you will manage? You can't manage with any. Management is not just moving things around. It's acting with a lot of sensitivity. It's acting with a lot of kindness. It's acting with deep spiritual vision. So it's not that managers are just, they have to be, everyone has to be spiritually deep. So the first thing to realize is that all of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees come from a place of deep realization. Yes, and then we have to find out what is our nature, in what way we can contribute. That's a journey. Now I won't give a workshop on finding your dharma. That's another day. But it will come in time. If you want to serve, see, the basic thing is, if you really desire to serve, if the seva bhav is there, what does Krishna say? Desham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam. If you're satata yukta, if you have such a deep sense of service that how can I give myself in the best way to this movement, Krishna will guide you. The Vaishnavas will guide you. It will all become very, very apparent what your contribution is in this movement. It will happen. But we have to have one to serve. So first, the seva bhav must be there. And then every other detail will manifest. Is that okay? All right. Did I see a hand in that? No. Okay. Yes. Okay. Anushree, yeah.
As part of your vision, you said to go to be bold and have mercy. What is the best way to get mercy? What the best way to step back with it?
There are different sources of mercy. One source of mercy is people. Another source of mercy is places. Another source of mercy is the process. So, as you read scripture, what you will begin to uncover is that there are many, many sources of mercy in this world. Devotees can give a lot of mercy. I mentioned how to draw mercy from devotees. Places can give a lot of mercy. Therefore, we go to Vrindavan, we go to Sridham Mayapur, we take shelter of those places which connect us to the eternal reality. Because Rupa Goswami says those places are like cups of bhav and they're overflowing. And therefore, anyone who goes in their proximity, even if they're unqualified, they'll begin to experience that which is way beyond their realization. So it takes us forward. So we get mercy from places. We get mercy from the process. Every day, Shraddha Ratir Bhaktir Anukramishyati. Every day as you dedicate yourself to the process, then the mercy of the process increases your Shraddha. And then when that Shraddha becomes solidified and crystallized, it becomes Rati, it becomes attraction. And when that attraction solidifies further, then it becomes Prema Bhakti, love for Krishna. So there's so much power in the process. Krishna consciousness is simple, but what makes it difficult is the everyday principle. You need to wake up and show up every single day. Get up, dress up, and show up every single day. Can you get up, dress up, and show up every single day? If you have that level of dedication to the process, so much wealth will come. But we're unsteady. And therefore, like a plane on a runway, it kind of goes and then it stops. It never really builds the momentum which allows it to take off. So like this, there are many, many sources of mercy. The final thing is, at least in terms of my answer for this question today, read the Brihat Bhagavatamrita. Because in the first story of the Brihat Bhagavatamrita, Narad Muni went on a journey. And he went on a journey to find out who got the most mercy from Krishna. And it's very, very interesting because every single person he meets will reveal to you a secret of how to get mercy. He goes to the Prayag Brahman, mercy. Then he goes to the southern king, mercy. Then he goes to Indra, mercy. Then he goes to Brahma, even more mercy. Then he goes to Shiva, mercy. Then he goes to Prahlad, mercy. Then he goes to Hanuman, mercy. Anyway, like this. So each one of these characters, when you read the dialogue, you learn a secret of how they drew mercy that brought them to their devotional accomplishment. So it's all there in the scriptures. There's no secrets here. It's all an open secret. Question is, how much are we interested? How much are we desirous? That will define the trajectory of our spiritual life. All right. Okay, I think we should end right here. So thank you so much for your attention and for being here. Hare Krishna. Gold, more valuable than gold. Always have a special place in my heart for Pandavasena. indebted, eternal.
Okay. I'm going to stop here. Class is over.